So, hi everyone. I was just wondering what that was on the thing, but it's the reflection of the flame. So, I've just been sitting chatting with some loved ones in spirit, and I just kept it to 3 messages, I'm going to put it. So, it was 3 people that I was speaking to, but I'll leave it to you to let me know if it made sense to you. And the magic of how this works, I'm going to try and keep my voice a little bit softer actually, in case people need it. I feel like people need this to sort of relax, calm down, maybe even fall asleep to it. Is that even though I sat and spoke to 3 loved ones in spirit, it could be that a loved one for you has piggybacked onto that message, and because I'm going to now just channel and let whatever come through, like the other times I've done it, and really, I do this all the time, but I'm just making this a little bit more strict about creating more space for the mediumship alone. And like I said before, some weeks it could be like last week where it was one spirit dominated the whole video, but that really did feel very special, and I know that a lot of healing, okay, I felt a lot of healing while I was doing that 144. Yeah, so again, it's what I'm going to say is just, listen with an open mind. And it is, I always feel personally, and that's what some of you said before when I was asking about doing this, it's very much like if you were in a spiritualist church. If you get this, like the healing alone of being in a place like that, or a healing circle, or which to me, like, I'm a medium and I'm a shaman and I'm all these other things, but to me healing is healing. And when you're in a safe circle, just like when you're in a safe place with a counsellor, a therapist, which you know I also am as well, if you're new, that is what I am as well. It's the healing, you can't really quite explain what takes place in either a therapy session with you and the therapist, or a group healing, and this is a group healing. So very much like if you were in a spiritualist church, or if you've never been in one before, just allow the healing to come in. So if you're open, the healing will come to you. And you might hear me say, if I say that the healing's going to my heart chakra or wherever else in my body, it means if you're open to it, they're giving that healing to you. And I've got decks of cards beside me, so as I'm reading out the messages that I wrote down, I'm just trying to get the order. I might, yeah, I dare say I will be led to pick up random cards as I'm recalling them, channeling them, and then getting more as I'm doing it. And then I've left it open that if other messages, if other loved ones in spirit, like new ones, want to come in and talk, they can as well. But because it is only the 2nd of January, guys, I wanted to stick to the consistency because this is the 3rd time in a row now I've done this, even over Christmas, because I've done it on Boxing Day. Yeah, because Boxing Day was last Monday. So yeah, this might be a bit of a shorter video, but it might not. I'm imagining it's going to be about 30 minutes, but we'll just see. So the affirmation for today, if you're watching this either on the Monday or at some point this week, but again, if you found this another time, it doesn't matter. Listen in, it may still be for you. The affirmation is, I no longer use the word should. I refuse to make myself and others wrong. Now this feels really significant. I'll show you. This feels really significant because, much like because I've used these affirmations for, my God, I think it probably is the whole time I've had my page. As long as I can remember putting the daily messages, I used it. Yeah, so yeah, it probably is the 7 years or something. But they do tend to work with the energies. I don't know. They just thought I can just notice the synchronicity. So anyway, I did sort of pick up on this vibe of forgiveness or forgiving of self, or which, you know, it doesn't need to make sense, because remember, when I'm delivering these mediumship messages, it's not meant to make sense to me, but I mean it often does, because it can be like a collective message that we can all take something from. But it makes sense this time of year just because of wanting to leave the past behind and bring in the new. And I truly do believe whoever you feel has wronged you out there, or however you feel you've wronged yourself, which is actually really, it's interesting that I'm saying it like that, wronged yourself. They're making me say it like that because one of the affirmations that I was led to as I was channeling the healing messages was something about forgiving yourself. Now I've wrote it down because, and what I mean is, I had the telly on and I had it on a like a nice, you know, like, I don't know if it's, I think it is binaural beats or something, and I didn't realise it had words that were popping up as it was on. Because I mean, right now I'm looking at this beautiful, it's like an image of a fairy with butterflies on it. So it's, I mean, it's really magical. But the affirmations were popping up, and it was so cool. Like, as I was meditating, when, in fact, they're still doing it now. So, oh right, okay, that's what they want me to work. See what I mean? Like, they get me to use anything and do this, and it's just, I love how it changes all the time. But right now it's just flashed up. I am the purpose of my life. I am on a beautiful journey of self-discovery, growth and expansion. So I mean, how beautiful is that? I'm not going to read them all out, but they'll guide me to when I'm with what I'm saying, and it's absolutely going to make sense, I can tell. But these are, you know, it's just basically, there's something about, yeah, whether you feel someone's wronged you or whether you feel you've done wrong by someone, it is about finding that forgiveness for yourself, and where possible, finding the forgiveness for others. And like I always say, remembering that that does not mean that you need to carry forward these same people or drag the same lessons or beat yourself up about anything into 2023. You know what I mean? So whatever that means to anyone. So before I actually go into reading the free message. Oh, and an affirmation just popped up on my phone. Let's see. I make new improvements in my life. That just popped up on my phone. So, you know, it is all very new year, new you vibes, isn't it? I didn't see too many of those cheesy ones. That always used to annoy. I don't miss that about Facebook. You know, when it's like, and now that another year draws close, it's like, oh, shut up. You know what I mean? Just go out and fucking enjoy yourself, mate. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. They are very inspirational. But that's probably why I just went with the old, I'm ready for 2023. Do you know what I mean? I willingly give myself what I need in order to feel loved, safe and seen. I prioritise my needs and practice self-care every day. Right, okay, no, that actually, before I go into the silent healing, that is really important, because that is very in line with one of the messages I was channeling. Again, I can't really remember. I know I've just finished it and I'm doing it again now, but I can't, when I'm doing it silently, I can't really remember until I get in it. But basically, there is a really strong collective message about you getting clear on what it is you need and communicating those needs, as well as you recognising when you need to ask someone what it is they need. So again, these are all very counsellor-y things or therapist things of me to say, but it's true. There does seem to be something about this here, and it's, again, with the nature of it, the astrology right now being extremely, because look, there's another one. I think it's meant to say, I give myself the appreciation, love and acceptance that I used to seek from others. I appreciate, accept and love myself just as I am. And that's actually really on point with what I was just about to say, because look, right, they're pulling me to the Two of Cups, right? That's the true love card. By the way, in the reading that I done for yesterday, I kept saying the lovers, but I mean, same difference. But there is a difference with the lovers card and the Two of Cups, because this really is true. I mean, that really looks like true love. It's very romantic. I mean, it's just very... Oh my god, have I fucking... Guys, shit, man. I've spilled coffee on that card. Oh dear. Right, I'll do it. That's a bit stubborn as well. Well, do you know what? They're telling me it means something, right? Everything means something, right? Life ain't perfect. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's coffee on the card, and I'm not too keen on that, but I'll sort it after. But it's about... Oh my god, I get what they're saying. True love isn't perfect, and... cheesy. But it's about this whole... There's something coming through about because obviously I'm in the nature of helping heal your divine feminine, divine masculine energy within yourself, because we've all got it regardless of gender, but also healing the lovers. You see what I mean? That's why I get confused with the lovers and the 2 cups, because it's about lovers, right? It's about realising that life isn't perfect. So a little bit like this coffee stained 2 cups card, it's still beautiful, isn't it? It's still a beautiful card, and it's just I happen to notice what the fuck is that at the bottom. But it's, so I'm going to put that there actually. Love dwells here. There is something about realising that things aren't always going to be perfect, and the reason I know they're saying that to me is because they led me to, because obviously I've channeled about Goodwill Hunting a lot, and again I'm going to refer to it all the time, to be honest. Maybe not all the time, but because it is about a counsellor / therapist, and that is what I am. And even if I wasn't all these other things, it is just his character in that film is so like me, because the clip they showed me was when, you know, he says, like, you know, you speak way more than any other shrink I've ever had. And it's just it always makes me laugh, because it's the same. I mean, it won't surprise you, but I mean, listen, I'm a really good listener, but obviously I'm a fucking brilliant talker as well. And I would hope so, with having my North Node in Gemini and being, you know, a channeler. But again, if you know the background behind me, I'm not going to go into all of that here, but you know, I was a very, very shy kid, and it's taken me years, decades to find my voice. So, you know, and I just looked at 1144, that was part of my twin flame path. And so that's important for people to know that. Again, you know what I mean? That most people aren't born confident. You know, you have to push through your own insecurities and your own whatever to get to where you are, and it's how I can help people do that. And you know, I really love helping people reprogram their subconscious mind, with me being a hypnotherapist and all the other things that I can do to help you do that. NLP, tapping, you know, soul retrieval, shamanic healing, Reiki, you know, whatever, the counselling, all bits and but whatever kind of appeals to you. These are all tools that I can help you do that. Help you to help yourself do that, rather. You have to be willing and open and basically ready to commit to that healing, because it's not an overnight job. That's important. People take that on board. But yes, in that clip specifically, it's when he's sort of saying to, you know, he's telling the funny stories about his wife. Oh my God, the affirmation just popped up. I'm grateful for the the obstacles I've overcome. Right, and I just start to stutter there too, so that even may be relevant to someone watching this. It has given me deeper love, wisdom, strength, and resilience. Right, very great. But I'm going to stop looking at that because it's now confusing me. But that means something. I'm getting confused, so you're getting confused out there. Someone's going to connect with that feeling. So, but basically, yeah, it's all about intimacy, right? And I know why it's sometimes on the mediumship Mondays it's going to have more of a, you know, twin flamey vibe, because everything I do is for twin flames. And other times it may not be about the love, and it might, like I say, it might just be a message from your granny, or, you know, a friend in spirit or whatever. But I do feel that there is, I don't know if it was necessarily romantic. One of them felt like it was, but the other ones were definitely self-love. So you'll just see what I mean when I get into channeling because I've not even got into channeling the messages yet. Like this just feels like collective stuff or somebody's jumped on the bandwagon to give these messages. But there is just this theme of fear of intimacy coming up. And again, what I will say is it feels like all the messages I'm going to deliver, they felt all very for the divine masculines. Whether that is a man, woman, or whatever you identify as, it felt a lot of where the divine masculines are at in the dark night of the soul, working through their feelings, facing their feelings, and trusting themselves. You know, just on the journey to wherever everyone's at with that. And you'll see what I mean when I give the messages. But yeah, what was it? They keep showing me that clip. What was it specifically about that clip? Well, I suppose it's just what I said there, that it's like, it's risky to use more of yourself in therapy or counselling. But when you can do it well and it suits you and it goes with your style of healing, it really pays off for your clients. And again, my clients quite literally speak for themselves if you want to see it in the playlist of how it helps them, and it's helped them massively. And that's only the people that I've worked with all over the world through Zoom. You know, I've also got people that I have worked with in person as well. Actually, there was somebody that spoke on that playlist that was in person. So, but basically, that's what I'm all about, helping people do. Realising that, a bit like this card, you're not perfect, you know, but not putting people, like, you're imperfect and you're meant to be that way. I'm imperfect, you're imperfect. We're all imperfect, but that's what makes us who we are. And that's why they're showing me that clip. That's basically what Robin Williams' character is trying to get across to him, is that, like, look, you know, you're putting her on a pedestal, keeping her at arm's length, because then you can keep her perfect. And then, you know, he says that, he's like, well, she's fucking boring. No, he doesn't say that. Does he say boring, or what if she's not? Something like that. But again, I feel this is a strong element of what anybody can do when it comes to intimacy, whether this is you or whether this is perhaps what you experience with your twin back to you, if you even know, again, because some of you might not be in a position where you even know them well enough in that way, like whatever the situation is. Right, okay, so anyway, like I'm saying, I just feel it's going to be that, it might go that kind of way, just because of where it is in my chart right now. How interesting, right? I'm about to do some silent healing. I wanted to do it right at the start, and it just came up on the screen. I allow myself to rest when I am tired, safe in the knowing that everything has its season. And there was one that flashed up while I was doing the meditation earlier that's similar to that I loved. And I'll read that out after this. So, if you're going to join me for the silent healing, because they were telling me when I meditated that there was some grounding needed, I'm going to just, for about 5 minutes, if I feel like it needs to be longer, I might do it for 10 minutes. But I'm just going to sit, and, you know, you just trust me that I'm sitting and I'm sending the healing that you need for grounding. So I'm going to light the sage, and I'm going to focus on clearing any distortion. So you can close your eyes as I'm saying this. Any distortion, spell work, hexes, curses, black magic, voodoo, binding thing, anything. Again, it's like, it fascinates me when that can roll off my tongue, because I don't want to know what is involved in all of that for the people that do it. All I know is I fucking undo it, because it's real and it's fucked up. So wherever that has been done to anybody connected to watching this in real time or later, I'm doing that with the sacred sage. I'm sending that your way, so just be open to receiving that. We clear that oh, look at that, the fact that I'm waving it, and we especially clear that distortion around the sacred unions, the sacred lovers. The twin flames. Bear in mind, you can't always blame. Again, I'm not big on blame or shame or guilt or anything, but these are valid emotions that we can all experience. We can't always say that it's outside interference. Sometimes it is just ourselves getting in the way of experiencing the next step on the journey, which is what I feel I'm picking up on for a lot of the collective. Not everyone, but this is when I say hold space for the ones that are at this bit, because there is, oh my god, I just looked up at, I'm flowing with my inner seasons. Yeah, there's a reason for everything under. Oh, there's the one that I liked earlier. I remember that sadness will become joy, just as winter will turn into spring. So you see what I mean? Like, that's the confirmation of what I was saying about, I feel this is for the the twins that are in the dark night of soul, the divine masculine collective. So sadness will turn into joy, a little bit like my favourite one that I always say, this too shall pass, right? So I've waved about the sage there, and I'm just going to sit now, like I say, for 5 minutes. It's 20 minutes in, so I might leave it for 10 minutes, but I just want you to close your eyes. You don't need to be anywhere right now. You don't need to be doing anything. Just breathe in, telling yourself relax, and breathe out, telling yourself release. And breathe in, telling yourself relax, and breathe out, giving yourself permission to release. Let it all go. Breathing in, relax. Breathing out, release. And I'm going to read out some of these affirmations because they're very scarily in line with everything that I'm feeling. So you can just take them in when I'm saying them. I allow old, outdated parts of me to die. I am being reborn into what I was always meant to be. Whole, sovereign, joyful, and free. And I want you to begin to imagine a cloud of mist, and it could be a sage mist like what I've just created here. In fact, I'll light it again. Forming above the top of your head. And that cloud of sage mist has the power to dispel any negative energies or entities or anything hanging about your aura that does not serve you at this time. And just see that cloud of mist falling gently over the top of your head, over your upper chakras, clearing any confusion, any negative attachments, thought forms, like I say, that are your own fears holding you back, telling you can't do something when actually you can. Sometimes we have to do things scared. And then it just popped up on the screen. I am being invited by life to meet the changes in my life with an open and courageous heart. Talk about perfect timing. I am flowing with life in dynamic surrender and faith. And now the energy is falling over the throat chakra, reminding you that you've got a voice and you came here to use it. And they're specifically getting me to home in again on what I was saying about needs. Do you know what your needs are? Are you able to express your needs? Or does it feel too scary to do that, and so it's easier just to get out of there? You know what I mean? If you're in a situation where you want to say what you need, but depending on the kind of situation we're talking about here, it can either be awkward, it could be scary, but I'm getting the feeling it would always be scary, I suppose, because otherwise if you weren't scared, you would just say what it was you need. It just popped up, I am enough as I am now. So usually when we're afraid to speak our needs, it's because it can be like we're going to be afraid that we're going to have our needs either ignored, missed, or the person's going to shoot us down in some way. Now that can come from things we've experienced in the past. It can even be past lives. It can be past relationships of any kind. But what's important is the here and now. And knowing that you are enough right now. You're worthy of having your needs met and your boundaries met. And, you know, letting it be known what your boundaries are. And knowing that when others overstep your boundaries, unless you can, and notice how I'm trying to get what they're saying to me, Right, it's just flashed up. I ask for forgiveness for all the negative and harmful words I have spoken about myself. Yeah, and that's kind of what they were trying to say to me there. It's like, I forgive myself for not always loving myself enough. Yeah, so that's basically, that's crazy, the timing of it. But it's, what they're saying to me is, when people ignore your boundaries, if it's the people that you've already expressed your boundaries to, and you know, like you can feel it is just literally they don't respect you, and they're trying to manipulate you and gaslight you and all this kind of, maybe even in extreme cases, you're around narcissistic behavior. I wouldn't even say extreme. It really is around us a lot more than probably what you want to believe. So not those people. Sometimes we've got other people in our life that we do care about, that we do love a lot, which actually can be the latter of what I just said. It can be those people, and that's where you do have to make a personal judgment call to either create more boundaries and see people less, or again, in extreme cases, you do have to cut people out of your life. I've had to do it. I'm sure you've had to do it, or perhaps you're someone listening to this and you're like, I've never had the courage to do it. All at different parts of our journey. There's no right and wrong here. Oh, and then remember the affirmation is, I no longer use the word should. I refuse to make myself and others wrong. It is what it is. And then it just popped up. I'm choosing to love all of me, even the messy and ugly parts. So beautiful how the affirmations are fitting in with this. But yeah, so there's just basically something about just being mindful of that we at times we're called to work together with people in our lives, to realise that you're at some point going to be someone in people's lives that is there to teach them about boundaries. And perhaps that might be for some of my soul fam clients that have been your counsellor, and therefore you've learned a lot about boundaries from me, and now you're finding that because you respect your own boundaries and speak your needs, that others are learning to do that for them. And that's the beautiful knock-on effect of therapy, the gift that keeps on giving. Except you don't need to keep paying for it, unless you're really led to get more help. And you learn to trust your own decisions, and you learn to speak even though your voice shakes. So it's a message not to give up on people right away. That's what I'm hearing. It's and I feel because I'm actually it's because I'm looking at the Two of Cups here. This is specifically homing in on the twin flames. So it's definitely, I feel it's speaking to twins that are already together, that may be going through difficulties out there, because although they may not talk in public, there are ones that watch this that are in that situation. Or, and remember, you can let me know in private if this was you, because I would be interested to know. Or ones that are like their souls are preparing to connect, because that's what's been coming through in the daily videos channelings that I'm doing right now. Wherever that's at, that's just a reminder that you've already went through, or you're still going through, but the difficult karmic relationships. I'm just laughing. I said this was going to be silent, but they changed it into clearing, so whatever, we're going with it. You've already went through the challenging, exhausting karmic romantic situations, family situations, friends situations, wherever else it was, work situations, wherever it was in your life, addictions, anything, that was quite difficult, toxic even. And now your soul's preparing for a more peaceful part of your journey. But it doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. Like I always say, nothing worth having ever comes easy. It normally does come with boundaries, because boundaries create safety. If you've never been used to safety in relationships, that can feel scary, ironically. And I feel that's really going to speak to every one of us in some way, shape, or form. So I'll just let that land where it needs to. But now the energy moves down through the solar plexus, your personal power. Calling back your power from wherever you've given it away, knowingly or unknowingly across all time, space and dimension. We call back your power. And again, it goes without saying, but where I'm saying this, and it's quite interesting, just got to exactly 30 minutes in, halfway through. I'm worthy of living my best life, as the affirmation just popped up. We're asking that where your twin flame gives permission for this healing to go into them, that absolutely goes to them too. As I read out, I'm worthy of true abundance and unconditional love. Because know that every time you repeat these affirmations, whether you read them, whether you listen to them, you know, it's good to do something like that every day in some way, you know, to keep flooding your consciousness, keep reprogramming your beliefs, because you should do it for you. Oh, as the thing says, no shoulds, but and it says, I'm worthy of happiness, peace and joy. I am worthy of having my dreams come true. That is a big problem with a lot of twin flame relationships. It feels so dreamlike that you want to stay in the dream, because like that clip of Good Will Hunting, and that doesn't matter whether you're divine feminine, divine masculine, whether you're a guy, you're a girl, or whatever you identify as. I feel that's everyone on the journey. It's so fucking peaceful. And you can mould your dream and even your twin flame to be what you feel they're like, even though in truth you accept them just as you are. You accept them just as they are, and they accept you just as you are. That imperfect love, like the card with the coffee stain at the bottom. And that is the truth that you will see when you come to be at the physical manifestation, or obviously the twins I'm talking to that are already in that will know that. It's like anything, you know, I caught something today where they were talking about that. It's like that dopamine high that you get of the exciting new relationship, you know, like any kind of new relationship. It's oh, I did speak about this the other week there, you know, it's like, that's what you get with twin flames as well. Like, twin flames like to go off into their own wee world, whether that's when you go to sleep at night or daydreaming during the day or whatever. And often it can just hit you, and you're not wanting to, it just floods you. And it can be because your twin's thinking about you. In fact, I'd say every time it's because your twin's thinking about you. You're both thinking about each other at the same time. But it's kind of like, at this stage in the game is what I'm going to say, it's a little bit more complicated when the matrix twin is kind of still very much asleep. They will still think of you, but it wouldn't be as on a deeper level. But the twins I'm talking to right now, it is going to be that. As I just looked at 33 minutes, that's the divine masculine sign for me. And I did say this was for, anyway, it's for everyone. But yeah, I'm deeply connected to all of life, has just popped up, right? So I think this is enough of the clearing. There's something here about making the dream reality. And we are in Taurus Moonism channeling this right now. That is grounding your manifestations into reality. It's also speaking your manifestations in reality, because it's also the throat chakra to me. And it's Capricorn Sun. Both of these are earth signs. And I might not have read out the affirmations about being connected to the earth, but there is ones popping up here about being deeply connected to the earth. There was a message that I'm going to read after this that I'd got in meditation too. So I feel if you can get out and walk on the bare earth, it's a bit bloody cold where I live right now, probably where you live, but if you can do that even for a few minutes, it would be beneficial. But even just getting out in nature right now, if you don't want to, freeze your toes, it would be really beneficial for you to do that. Perhaps, if you've got a garden or something. I mean, I've not got a garden, so I just go to the beach. But if you've got a garden, even just sort of getting out with your coffee in the morning for a few minutes. As I read out, I'm breathing life and life is breathing in me. And this is very apt because now we're carrying energy down over the sacral chakra, clearing any negative attachments or anywhere where there's been unsafe relations, because I've never heard it like that. I'm not even necessarily meaning things to do with sex, but I mean, it can be that. But yeah, anywhere where, because the sacral chakra is giving and receiving, anywhere where somebody's not respected your boundaries, that's what seems to be coming through. It's about, you know, that it is this thing of knowing that it is a vicious cycle of, if you have not had your boundaries respected, whether you know it or not, and this is what can be triggering for people to hear, but it's true, you will unknowingly step over others' boundaries, whether that be in conversation. You know, you'll not, you know, you'll be talking too much and not let the other person talk, or just maybe not be as aware that the other person might not be up for talking about something right now. Or if we are talking about romantic relationships, like perhaps somebody's wanting a cuddle or something, and maybe the other person's in a bad mood, you know, we can take it to all kind of different, it's everything like that. But it doesn't need to be romantic relationships. It can just be like, say we're like people that you're really close with, like family members or best friends, like people where they just assume, oh, that's my best pal, or that's my sister, or that's my brother, and so like I can be in a bad mood with them, or I can talk to them like shit, or whatever. You know, it's like I'm picking up on all different kind of things for different people. Again, I'm laughing that the affirmation is, I no longer use the word should. I refuse to make myself and others wrong. It's true, you know, we don't want to shoulda, coulda, woulda, but really, it's not okay. You know, it's not okay for you to treat others like that, and it's not okay for others to treat you like that. But we also, like that affirmation, we don't need to make it, wrong and put guilt and blame and shame. And it, you know, what they're showing me, right, and I feel this is actually, this is going to lead into the messages, but it's like when right, they're giving me an example of, it's like the reason, one of the main reasons why I'm so, well, hopefully you feel it, but why I'm so, yes, I know I'm very confident with really all of my work. Basically, I'm really confident with all of my work because I've worked hard to be good at it, to be unique at it. But I'm also humble, and it's a fine balance. But I'm humbled a lot. A lot of the experiences that have made me good at what I'm good at, is the reason my humbling comes from situations in life where I've fudged up, you know, to use the hangover line. But yeah, where I've really fucked up. And a lot of that in my life has been through alcohol. Um, and my God, have I learned, you know, a lot of the really deep, dark lessons that I got were through alcohol. Um, and so I don't know who this is going to speak to, but I think it would probably speak to everyone at some point. It's like, unless you've been teetotal your whole life, but you could maybe it could fit for someone else. But it's like, I even said that like literally the other night, and you know what I mean, that like now, because I've had so many years of not drinking, I really just take it in my stride. If I want a wee drink, I'll have one. But it just means that because that option's there, the majority of it I just don't. So I can go like a year and a half without drinking. I think the longest was 2 years I didn't drink. But it's and it's because I personally didn't like that feeling of not remembering. And that's what used to happen to me. I would wake up and I couldn't remember. There would be whole parts of the night that just were a total blank. And I'd get people being like, well, that doesn't happen to me, but why does that happen to you? And all that kind of, you know, all the judgment you get with it, and then people thinking that you're exaggerating or whatever. And sometimes you'd be, oh, you were fucking hilarious, Cornwall, and all that kind of, um, and sometimes you go along with that, you know, your ego would be like, all right, really, what was I doing? And maybe people have got fucking, you know, videos and whatever, and, you know, photos, you know, and sometimes you, but yeah, and then, but really, it was never fun, you know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. Now I'm being shown. I do remember that was a boxing night actually. I think it was Christmas or Boxing Night. I do remember. No, it was Christmas Eve. I remember being at a club night one night, and it was my younger friends, and they'd sent. Oh fuck! She didn't send a video, but she sent a video of her. The two of them were reenacting what I was like, and that was actually fucking hilarious. But anyway, we'll get on with it. It's just there's something in this. I get it. It's because there will be people there'll be lots of you that have overdone it over this festive period. Because now there's, oh my god, now they're drawing me a little penguin skating on thin ice. That's hilarious. But yes, it's basically that kind of feeling of funny stories can come from stuff like that. But when it gets to not be fun is when we're using it to escape our feelings. And that's what I used to use it for a lot of the time. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I was just doing what everyone else was doing. But, well, this came out the other day too, but it must be important. It did get to that point where I was like, I really, it's hard to say actually, because I'm just trying to think. A lot of the time, if I didn't want to go out, I'm actually quite strong minded. I would just be like, nah, I'm not going out. Like, I don't really get that fear of missing out thing, you know what I mean? But I probably, if I'm being honest, in my early sort of teens, I wouldn't have been that strong with it. I probably would have had a bit of FOMO. And a lot of the time, it probably would have something to do with wanting to bump into who I now know is the other half of my soul. Do you know what I mean? But it was always like a bit of an excitement. And, oh, right, now that's why they've got me to say that. You see, that was what would be my dopamine rush. What if I see him? What if I see him? And then remember, I've said before that sometimes friends even manipulated that to be like, we might see such and such. And I'm like, stop fucking saying that. Because yeah, you know what I mean. It's like so there's something about here specifically for the twins. It's about it is time to take the fantasy, to risk your daydream, your vision, your fantasy twin flame, to risk them not being actually the perfect love that we dream of, to risk that there's a coffee stain at the bottom of the two cups, and that's going to be all right, because whatever that coffee stain represents, they're your divine mirror. Like, that's his mirror, and she's his, you know what I mean? And this could easily be two same-sex couples. They're not perfect, and I'm sure they're well aware of that. They'll have their own flaws and everything going on. We'll not get into their business, because it's not about them right now, even though the camera's facing them. Anyway. And you actually can't see, because if you've got your eyes closed, you've fallen asleep. This is funny, because people are going to fucking fall asleep to this, and then they're not going to hear the mediumship messages. So start to wake up. No, I'm only joking. Keep your eyes closed. Right, so whenever, I'll need to watch that back and see, but people are needing to hear it out there. Basically, it's about grounding in the physical. That's what they're saying to me. It's about things need to come about and manifest now for many, many people. And if this isn't you, you're just not at that bit. But for many people, you've been putting in a lot of the groundwork. You've done a lot. You've come here to be a powerful light warrior, light worker, whatever words you want to use, whatever resonates for you, starseed. And it is time to get on with the next part of the mission now. So that'll be different lessons for different people. But I'm just being drawn to the fact, it's interesting, it's like, it's about recognising each other's innocence. Oh, they're making me talk about that again. Yeah. Recognising each other's innocence and light, because there's a lot of light coming from that card. Right, okay, so now the energy moves that, oh my god, that was, oh yeah, and that was all at the sacral. You see, it matters what I'm saying at each chakra. I didn't intend to do a chakra clearing and depth in it, but whatever. Obviously it's needed, it must be needed after all the festivities and whatever. They just want me to really cleanse the chakras there, so okay. Oh, wait a minute, it did come out for New Year's Day. I pulled clear energy blocks, so this is probably for I get it actually. This is probably for the collective of divine masculines that tune into me that don't actually do that. Here you go. So, this is right. I get it. So, I'll put something in that in the title. So anyway, now the energy moves down over the root chakra, which, like I said, in this energy I'm channeling this in, it's 2 earth signs. It's about grounding it into the physical. The Capricorn sun is thinking about the long term. It's thinking about where you want to be committed to. It's thinking about goals. It's thinking about the long term plan. What's your long term goals? It's not a quick fix. It's about where do you want to be for the long term? Who do you want to be with it for the long term? If you're pissing about, life's going to show you where you're pissing about. It's going to show you where you're wasting your time. Some of you will take note, some of you will carry on, stay in a drunken spell, fumbling your way through life. Again, we've all been there at different parts, and perhaps you're still in it. I don't know what ages people are watching this, but it's not always got something to do with age. It's got a lot to do with the soul's maturity. And we don't judge any of it. It's where you're at. And so now that energy goes down over the hips, down over your knees, which are about worthiness, and out through your feet grow roots of the tree, growing down, all the way down to the bottom of Mother Earth, however you imagine that to be. And I want you to imagine that with all the stuff I've been channeling here, like I said, that was a surprise to me, because I was just going to do a bit of healing and then get in the messages, but it's what people needed to hear tonight. I feel they're preparing you for the full moon that is actually, I can't believe that now, but it's literally 4 days away. It's on Friday, it's on the 6th there. And 6 is the lovers. And we're looking at 2 divine lovers here, although this is the 2 of Cups, just to confuse everyone about the lovers and the 2 of Cups again. It's, oh god, shit, that means something though. Right, okay. The fact that I'm saying about being confused about these 2 cards about love, it's about where people have got confused about what is love and lust, and what's a twin flame, and what's a karmic. That's not it for everyone, but it definitely is. That's what they're saying to me that's about. And it's like these 2 people in this card have went through different lovers. That sounded wrong, but they're realising, actually, out of everyone I could be with, I'm choosing you. But they're both saying that to each other. And that's scary though, it's still scary. And some people watching this will know, because you've already done it and you're in a different, calmer, more peaceful part of your life. You're past the dopamine excitement, are they going to tell me that they like me first? Are they going to tell me that they love me first? All of that. And then you're actually just in this calm, peaceful place of waking up with someone in the morning and pulling them close and just feeling safe. You know what I mean? That's not how you feel when you wake up with someone after a one night stand. I don't care what any of you say. You just, depending on which one you are, and depending on how fucking well you knew them, if it was a complete stranger, you just want them to get the fuck out of your house right away. Sorry, maybe that's just me. If you're the one that slept over at somebody else's house, you just want to fucking get the taxi right away. You know what I mean? Don't lie. You know it's true, everyone out there. If it's someone you know a little bit better, it gets complicated, doesn't it? Because perhaps somebody else wants somebody to stay, but then they're too afraid to say it. And perhaps the other person isn't bothered and they do just want to leave. Or perhaps the other person feels exactly the same and they want to stay too, but they're too afraid to say it. You know what I mean? You get all these different sorts of dynamics. And this is why they're scared me to say that. It's like, that's why they put, this is so crazy. This is why they pulled me to those songs the other day as well about because I've been humming that song. I've got the words I love you sitting on the tip of my tongue. I think that's it. I've only heard it a couple of times. But do you know what I mean? It's like, if you've ever had that moment right before you say, I love you to someone, you know what I mean? It is pretty nerve-wracking. like, and even though you know the person's going to say it back, you're still shitting yourself, you know what I mean? But somebody's got to do it. You know what I mean? It's and I'm maybe not like, maybe not I love you, right? But I mean, I am at the root chakra now, and we're connecting to the new earth. So you see what I mean? This is all for a reason, because the roots of your tree are grounded into. Wait a minute, we're just connecting from the old earth. Fear, lack, negativity, karmic relationships which are done. You've learned the lessons, and they don't want you to repeat the karmic cycle. So if you're going back for more of Mercury retrograde, hooking up with karmic exes, you're asking for more pain. You don't need to be doing that. And I've just been led to the affirmation, I'm the person I've been waiting for to change my life for the better. And it's just about, you're the only person that can do that. Just like, that's why they gave the example of when I woke up, so what, it'd be more like 3 years ago now. Well, I think it is, yeah, 3 years ago now. I woke up in 2020, actually. Oh yeah, in 2020, before knowing, before knowing what was all coming that year, I woke up and thought that. I woke up still drunk at lunchtime and thought, fuck my life, I give up alcohol. And I did. I gave up alcohol from New Year's Day. Yeah, 3 years ago. And like I said, I didn't actually drink for, I think it was don't hold me to it, but I think I did manage to not drink for a whole, it was either a year and a half or 2 years. It was a year and a half though. But whether it's drink or any other kind of addiction, or it can, like I say, it can be addictions to people that aren't good for you. Or like I'm saying, the unusual example of it can be the addiction of the fantasy of the twin flame dynamic. Like you're so addicted to the fantasy that you're actually avoiding the reality. And the trouble with that is, if you keep doing that when the opportunity for the reality is there, for the people that are at it, for the people that, when you do actually get to the point where neither of you are with someone and you can have each other, even through after all the pain and the struggles and everything, that felt like I was channeling the end of He's Just Not That Into You. But you see, that means something as well. He's just not that into you. That's what people can take. It's interesting, the film's called He's Just Not That Into You. But it's like, what I'm hearing in my head is she's just not that into you. So I do feel this is like me picking up on a lot of the divine masculine insecurities. That it's like, because of all the different twists and turns, that's putting it politely, isn't it, that they've taken, or that you've taken, whoever's listening to this, in your path, the easy route would be to tell yourself, she's just not that into you. You know what I mean? Like, protect yourself in case the same thing happens again that's happened with other people. But this isn't any old kind of love. This is the true love card. Right, okay. They're telling me that's enough of that, but that's because we're connected to the new earth. And now the affirmation is, I willingly give myself what I need, there's that word again, in order to feel loved, safe and seen. I prioritise my needs and practice self-care every day. That's the kind of people you want to be with. There's no shoulda, coulda, woulda, there's no right and wrong. But I'd imagine you do want to feel loved and safe and seen. And you want to be able to be the kind of person that puts your needs and your self-care first every day. Not just sometimes now and again, and everybody else gets their way and everyone else gets their happiness. So I want you now to pull up whatever you feel you need from the new earth. What is it you need today? What do you need to feel safe and seen and heard? Is there someone in your life that you need to communicate that to clear up any miscommunication? It could be of the romantic nature. It could be closing out karmic things. It could be, look, I just need some space for myself, and actually permanently. Kind of harsh, but I mean, it is, sometimes it's like you need space from karmic people that are your family, your friends, you know, and it's not forever, but you just need space. Sometimes it is like, look, you know, this is over. Sometimes it's your twin flame. You need to be like, look, I feel the same as you, but I'm really overwhelmed. I just need a bit of time myself, and then I'll reach out to you. But not everybody's able to do that. So again, either you're the person that's not able to do that very easily, and it's literally agonizing for you to do that, or you're the person that's on the receiving end of wanting somebody to just let you know what it is they need, and it's frustrating. But these are all Mercury retrograde things I'm channeling and explaining right now. But what they're saying to me is, it's like, it's about trusting that you're where you're meant to be right now. And surely you couldn't get it that wrong. And that the result of you asking for what it is you need is going to be so terrible if you put it out there. Because ultimately, if you express your needs and somebody does shoot you down, and like, what you're talking about, like, you know, and they're horrible back. Yeah, sometimes occasionally it can be like through drink, somebody might be a bit of a dick, let's be honest. I think again we can all be on the receiving end of that, or you've been the person being like that. But yeah, but it's about, it just keeps coming back to that, just, you know, compassion. It's compassion and forgiveness. And focusing on the here and now and what you, that's it, focusing on the here and now and what you can do, because it just flashed up, I'm full of love and my focus is on the present moment. You can't change the past. So if you've done things that you feel are wrong in the past, forgive yourself. It's in the past. It's literally in last year. Last year might have been a couple of days ago, but that's not the point. Leave it in the past. And anybody that keeps bringing up your past and reminding you of things that you've done wrong, or things that you've like done that are embarrassing, or anything like that's their problem. Sometimes you have to talk about the past in order to seek some kind of closure or healing. And like I say, sometimes it's kind to give that to another if they want it from you, whether that be an ex or friends that you no longer want to be friends with, or family, or wherever that applies. But I always say this, nobody actually owes you anything. Oh. The phone fell over when I said that. Sorry about that. Yeah, nobody owes you anything, so you can't hang around waiting on it. You can hope that you're going to get the apology if it means a lot to you. But nobody actually owes you anything, and that's what, you know, people, you could waste a lifetime hanging around on something that somebody's not able to give you right now. Right, I'll just leave it at that. Or if you're in a position that you know that your needs could be met with love and compassion, maybe even unconditional love, but in order for you to get those needs met, you're going to need to be really vulnerable. You're going to need to be scared. You're going to need to drop the mask that we all can wear at some point, depending on where we're at and how threatened we feel each and every one of you is going to meet that moment if you haven't already in your life. And I love that the affirmations, I am confident that I can rely on my inner strength and love in every situation. I just got to 1 hour exactly when I was saying that, but can you do that? Can you rely on your inner strength and know that if you're led to that moment when you're feeling really there's it reminds me of that. It reminded me of that Eminem song again, you know, palms sweaty, something spaghetti or something, but it's like, you know, your palms are sweating, you're shitting yourself, whatever term you want to use, you know, you're feeling really nervous, your heart's racing. And whether it's got anything to do with having a few drinks, that's courage before you press the person's name in your phone, or you send the text, or you make the call, you know, whatever. Or going to somebody's door, or a bit of all of this. Or sending the message on social media, whatever it is, because I feel this is what I'm picking up on right now. Trust that you'll be led to that moment when you're meant to be, and you will be scared. You can't actually control that. You can't control that. What makes you, they're making me really harsh right now, but what makes you think you're different from anybody else, that you are going to get to bypass that part in life? You're not. You're just not. It doesn't matter how confident somebody is, as it's flashed up on the screen. I'm confident that I've got what it takes to make it through all the challenges that life offers me in order to grow. Right? Thank you, Spirit. I love it. You're not going to get to dodge that. You can, though. It is your choice. You could dodge that for the rest of your life. You could dodge intimacy for the rest of your life. True intimacy. You could even be in relationships, whether it be long term or a few years, but never truly let that person see all of you. Or you could just accept that each and every one of us gets faced with that opportunity. Remember, I always say there's no such thing as luck. Luck is just preparation meeting opportunity. And I believe there's a lot of twin flames out there listening to this, that your soul has prepared. And that affirmation's just popped up again. I allow myself to rest when I'm tired and safe in the knowing that everything has its season. So you may be in the period of rest, the dark night of the soul. You may be tired after finishing another relationship and you need to heal right now. Do that. If that's where you're at, do that. That's what you need. That's where lots of people are at. You might not even be in a dark night of soul or resting because of other relationships ending. It could be that somebody has died in your life, and if it is, I'm sorry and I'm sending you love and you need healing. It could be that a job has ended in some kind of terrible way and it's put you in a dark place. It could be absolutely anything, and you've got your own reasons. And that's where you're allowed to have your own time to yourself. That's your boundaries. Everything has its season. Just as some people are in the season of the scary bit, and now I get why they've got me to, you know, that card has been, although a lot of people still have their eyes closed and probably falling asleep, so I'm going to have to title this something a bit different or put it in the comments. That's what it's about. You can't run away from it. It's about the true love for the twin flames and looking at your divine mirror. I allow myself to act with diligence when it's time to act, safe in the knowing that everything has its season. And I mean, look at that. I mean, I couldn't time that if I planned, but Spirit did through me. It is time for some people to act. But you'll know if it's you, so don't put pressure on yourself. And your true twin flame won't put pressure on yourself either. Again, like, look, I'm going to be really honest in this moment, right? My twin flame could think that I'm putting pressure on him, but this isn't for him. This is for all the twin flames. If my twin happens to listen to this, well, good. You'll get something from it. You'll get the healing as well. But it goes for what I just said. You know, everybody's where they're at, and you just have to tune into that for yourself. Again, if you've managed to stay awake this long, that's good. So anyway, now that you've pulled up what you need from the new earth, I'm going to bring people back so that they can listen to this message. So I'm going to count from 10 to 1. And when I get to 2, you're going to think about opening your eyes. And when I get to 1, you're going to open your eyes, wide awake, back on the YouTube video. And I'm going to channel these mediumship messages because that's what I thought I was going to be doing anyway. But it went a whole load of other twin flamey true love way. But that's alright. It's because the full moon on Friday this week is about feelings. And I can feel a whole lot of energy at my crown chakra. There's a lot of energy gathering at the upper chakras there. I feel a lot of epiphanies coming in, a lot of aha moments, a lot of people's subconscious, and also a lot of healing around trauma, because the 4th house, the Cancer energy in your chart, is about trauma and feelings. I was about to say sadness, but yeah, sad feelings, but it can be any feelings that you've pushed down. A lot of that could massively be coming to the surface. So if you're on the receiving end of this with others, just be aware of that. Whoever it is in your life, whether it be about true love or anyone, lots of people's deeper, repressed, suppressed feelings will really be surfacing this weekend. From the 6th to about the 8th, I'd even say into the 9th, you know, lots of big feelings coming up. And it says, I allow my old, outdated parts of me to die, you see. So that's either people in the dark night of soul, or I'm being reborn into what it was always meant to be. So give yourself that grace and give others a grace around you. And it's the affirmation again that says, I am being reborn into what I was always meant to be, whole, sovereign, joyful and free. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to count from 10 to 1. When I get to 2, you're going to think about opening your eyes. 1, you're going to open your eyes, wide awake. And let's get on with mediumship. So, ready to come back now? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Think about opening your eyes. 1, open your eyes, wide awake. Right, let's get into this mediumship. Right, so I want to shuffle these guide cards about what I just said there. Actually, let's pull a card from each of these decks. So what was that all about? That I was. Let's give us a card to. Oh my god. I mean, sorry, but this is where I fucking love this shit, because I never know what's gonna. Look at that, guys. Look at that. You know, if you fell asleep, you're not gonna. I've just fucking went on about forgiving yourself the whole fucking time, and the card that comes out is forgive yourself. Right, we'll knock them 2 out the way and put forgive yourself. Wow. Wow. Okay. Right, we're gonna leave that there. That seems to be the theme. Forgive yourself. What do we need from this deck? Intuition and manifestation. I also said that. I'm not going to, I'm not going to be a dick in that way, but I said that's it, but I did say that. But it's because they speak through me, for people that don't get it. Intuition and manifestation, I spoke about this being a time of manifesting in the physical. Oh. What's on the bottom? Great achievement in reverse. Present power. Planning and action. The loving woman in reverse. Right, what I feel that's about, right, is I do get it. Look, someone feels like they're not going to be successful, but they will be if they step into their present power and plan and take action. But I'm more feeling like this planning, the plan is just decide how you're going to do it and do it. Because like loving women in reverse, it's like someone's just feeling like they're not enough, because I just looked up and it says I am enough as I am now, and I'm where I'm meant to be in this moment. Angel of love. It's what I've channeled before. It's about the divine masculines that look at their twin like they're otherworldly, because look, there's door to spirit. And the problem with that is it just feels too unreachable. Go to spirit. Almost like a dream. Like, I'm getting this feeling that it's like, even when you do physically see each other in the physical, you might actually have placements like that, to be honest. Like, it's like, I know for me and my twin that we do have specific placements. Again, this is without me knowing what his houses are and everything in his chart. What I do know is we've got specific planets that join together, like they're conjunct, what you said, astrology, and it actually makes it like, it means that we both feel like it's so much of a dream it can't even possibly be real. And it's kind of like with a dream, it's like, it can be that kind of feeling, and you only get to experience it for a little while and then it's gone, and you don't, you might not ever experience that dream again. And that does actually feel like a really good example of what I was channeling. So if you are the same, if you and your twin have kind of placements like that, that's why astrology is good, for you to actually realise that. And when you talk about it with each other, you'll realise, oh right, shit, so you feel like that too. And I feel this is the problem. I'm going to, look, I put my words on this video. Let's just see what goes with that. Oh my god. Understand it, Sakura, understanding. Forgive yourself and understand it. So you see how that works with what I was just saying? And I just explained that you might have something similar. But it's just what twins are. There's every chance that whatever it is you're struggling with, your twin struggles with the same thing. So, like, let's use me as an example again there. I was just talking about the fact that I can remember there's been loads of times I've gotten really, really drunk and made an arse of myself. So I don't need to be a psychic to know that my twin will have done that many times too. Although, to be honest, he was really clever at not letting me see that. And I know, and like, well, obviously, I was about to say, what's this flashed up on the TV? I am choosing to love all of me, even the messy and ugly parts. It really does say that on the TV right now as I'm saying this. In fact, you can even see, you can't make it out though. But, yeah, do you know what I mean? But that kind of makes sense to me, that he never allowed me to see him like that. Literally I only heard him like that once on the phone. And it's actually, funnily enough, when he did sort of express something, didn't express feelings, but yeah, he did say something on the phone really drunk about me meaning a lot to him, and it was more than what he'd ever really said before. And it was, he was drunk in front of his pals, I've spoken about before. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. That was him controlling the situation. It's like, right, I can't. It's almost like he knew subconsciously, I can't allow myself to get that drunk in front of Claire, because I might say something, I might slip up. Like, he might have actually let me know that he liked me more than he was letting on, because he knew he wasn't ready for it, you see. So in that case, actually him getting really drunk in front of me would be a good thing. Because then it's just like, it bursts the illusion for me a little bit that he's some kind of perfect person, which he's not. And he already knows I'm not, because he saw me pushed a lot of times. But again, in all seriousness, he does need to know that about me too, because he, like with those cards that I showed you, will see me as that angel of love, or angel of strength. Even angels of love and angels of strength could get pushed if they really want to. Do you know what I mean? Right, okay, so, love it. So there's a little bit, whenever that makes sense to you, that, maybe if you're a bit too try to control the situation or try to keep your cool, it's about pride and keeping your cool and keeping an act on. And like I always say, I make no secret about the fact that is what me and him done the whole fucking time. Still, I don't know if I can really be accused of doing it, because I'm fucking humiliating myself on YouTube for over a year. So I'd like to actually take myself out of that example, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. It's I've also made no secret about the fact that I'm more than sure that when I am faced with him in reality, in front of me, providing he has dropped the mask, that will be terrifying. like I love it actually. That's like what they made me say earlier. You know what I mean? It's what I was saying if you were awake during that part. You don't get to escape that. So even trained therapists, healers, all people that make their life's work, you know, about learning about all this stuff to do with love and connection and all of that, aka me and the other people that do it, we don't get to escape that. You still have to face the really scary bit when it comes your way as well. And that's why, given the example of Good Will Hunting's perfect. The reason why he is able to inspire that guy to go after the girl of his dreams is because he's actually embodied to him, life isn't perfect. You know, you even say life isn't perfect, son. You know what I mean? You got to fucking get involved if you want to get involved. If you want to get the girl, if you want to get the guy, you want to get the job. You got to be in it to win it. All these kind of cheesy sayings. I'm telling you, is every Monday just going to be about telling somebody to go for the girl or go for the guy? Because this is just... But it is, because we're in twin flame union time, guys. Right, okay, so let's get on with the mess. I'll leave them there, because they feel... I'll pull more words to go with the messages. But so this is for the first person. So this might be for you, so just listen up. We'll just try and go through them now, because this is going to be a long video. So... I felt it was about worthiness and self-love. So you see how it's tying on. It's tying on from everything that's been spoken about. And the thing that flashed up on the TV was, I allow myself to act with diligence when it is time to act, safe in the knowing that everything has its season. So that was actually the only message that I was getting for that person that I was connecting in with. So I feel if that's you, do you know what actually? I feel if that's you, I feel these are your cards. To forgive yourself and give yourself that understanding and know that you will be forgiven and you are understood. And I feel that is the message for whoever that's going to be. I feel that fits with whatever it is about you're working on worthiness and self-love right now. And to know that when you allow yourself to act with diligence, when it is time to act, you'll be safe in the knowing that everything has its season. Basically meaning it'll be the right time. And the word for you as well, I can't, right, I fucking love this, guys. I love this. Communication. So I can see how that fits. Someone needs to forgive themselves, have understanding for themselves, know that they'll be forgiven, know that they'll be understood, and communicate their needs and their feelings. But if that's for you, you'll do that when you're ready. Love it. Right. Second message. Maybe it won't be that much longer. So for the second person, and again, I didn't focus, although some of them I'm like, I know who that was for. I'm just, you can be the decider of that and let me know, or like I say, I'd really appreciate if you say it in the comments. You don't need to say which one was yours, but if you say, Claire, one of them was for me, thanks, whatever, like that would be brilliant, or a heart or something. I remember that sadness will become joy just as winter becomes spring. So that was the affirmation that pulled me to it as I was pulling in this person. And I felt this was someone's sister, actually. Someone's sister that's connected to the channel here. So it says, I allow the old, outdated part of me to die, and I'm being reborn into what I was always meant to be, whole, sovereign, and free. And I mean, these have already flashed up on the TV, but this is what was coming through when I was meditating. So I am being invited by life to meet the changes in my life with an open heart and courageousness. And you see how that is fitting with what other people need to hear at this point in their life as well. Some it's about love, some it's about life in general. As if this affirmation popped up, I am deeply connected to all of life. I am flowing with life in a dynamic surrender and faith. And so this is what's really interesting. If this is you and this is your sister in spirit, I didn't realise it at first, right? But, and this is why they must have led me to that particular clip, which I'll put that particular clip in the bottom. Because apart from anything, I think it's someone that's really funny. But, like funny and poignant, do you know what I mean? But it gets across the point of what I'm saying about intimacy. But I kept hearing the person's sister saying, it's not your fault. Oh, wait a minute, I need the media. I kept hearing them saying, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. So when I'm saying it's not your fault, know that that message is coming from your sister. And I swear to God, if this it's not your fault card comes out, I'm going to fucking scream or something. I did just keep saying or hearing her say it's not your fault. So clearly you feel guilty about something to do with either her passing or something that's happened in the past. Or it could be about something else, but, you know, it's something like that. But, and then I realised, wait a minute, that's the line out of that film. That's the famous, you know, that's what Robin Williams says to Matt Damon, it's not your fault. And he's like, yeah, I know, you know, thanks. And he's like, it's not your fault. And he's like, yeah, I know. Like, again, breaking down the ego, you know, like it's risky. This is what I mean. It's risky because maybe he actually pushes him away. Like, don't fuck with me. Do you know what I mean? And that's again, it's just what I said at the start. That's the kind. Never mind the kind of counsellor. That's the kind of person I am. That's what I'm good at helping people with. The real deep, dark stuff that they keep all to themselves. And yeah, so anyway, it was just interesting that I did hear it's not your fault, it's not your fault. And I only realised when I was reading it back, I was like, wait a minute, that's out that film. So that it was the person, your sister, this is you in spirit saying that. But I feel it's for everyone to take that on board as well, that, you know, unfortunately, you know, I know there'll be lots of you out there that have experienced traumas of all kinds where you need to be told it's not your fault. You know what I mean? It really isn't your fault. And forgive yourself and forgive others where you can. But it definitely isn't your fault. Right, so this is intense. Right, where do we need to go? So whoever's sister this is, whether I realise it's the film reference yet, I've said that. Oh yeah, then I got pulled to I am enough as I am now. So your sister wants you to know that you're enough right now. And then she said something random about your cash flow is going to pick up. Now I don't call, when I'm referring to money, I wouldn't usually call it cash flow. So I don't know. Maybe you do. I forgive myself for not always loving myself enough. I feel that might draw a few tears, to be honest, if that's your message. But yeah, I forgive myself for not always loving myself enough. And then she randomly said, you really need to be getting to bed earlier. So I feel you're staying up ridiculously late. I mean, I can take that. I think I did go a bit earlier last night. But right, what do you want to say, sister, out there, for someone connected to the channel? Although you may not understand it now, everything happens for a reason. So that's for you to, and I feel this is about the connection that you've got to your sister in spirit. So even if you weren't that close in the physical, which I feel that may have been the case, just know that she has got your back in the spirit world. It's a common occurrence that when you didn't have that close a bond with someone in the physical, they then can become one of your guides in the spiritual. It's just what happens. So again, this is really going to connect if you know that's the case, because I do feel it was like that. We have been in dreams together, so I feel together in dreams. I feel your sister may be popping up in a dream in the future, or she already has. I'm surrounded by loving animals, so there might be something significant about animals there. And I'm with the rest of the family, so that's quite interesting. It's a sister in that. And then we've got you're never alone. So it's not your fault card didn't come out, but that's not my fault. It might have. See what they done there? That's funny. Remember me by the happy memories we created. Tears cleanse the soul. Right. They just pulled me to, I had to leave that way, and my mind is free, and it was my time to go. And I've become one of your guides as well, after I just said that. Right, okay. So, now, this is the third person's message. So, it was a man called Tom. Now, it could be that you are Tom, but I more felt the guy talking to you was Tom, so whatever, right? There's something to do with the name Tom. And the affirmation that popped up, grabbing my attention, was, I'm choosing to love all of me, even the messy and ugly parts. So, see what I mean? There's such a strong message coming from everyone about forgiving yourself for not being fucking perfect, for making mistakes, for fucking up. Like I always like to use that meme. I fudged up, guys. Alan in The Hangover. It humbles us. It's great to be humbled in life, especially if you were needing it. You know, whenever shit like that's happened to me, I was fucking needing it. And it wakes you up to being a nicer person. Now, I'm sure we're all nice people anyway, but you know what I'm saying? We can't always have our shit together. It's just not possible. Believe me, having ADHD and every other fucking thing under the sun, that's my super skill. Realising that I'm not perfect, nobody else is. Right. So I got a paper cut as soon as I started talking to Tom. So I was like, for fuck's sake. Anyway, and he said it was to get your attention. Now, I don't think he was meaning my attention. It was just to get me to deliver the message that... So that'll be really freaky if you literally just got a paper cut recently or something. It could be that literal, but I feel it was about he is trying to get your attention. Bear in mind, guys, just to confuse things, this Tom guy could be like a fucking ancient ancestor or something. The amount of times I've had a message from spirit or a mediumship circle or something like that back in the day, when it would be like somebody talking, and I'm like, I have no idea who that is, and then I'd go home and ask my mum, and it'd be like a great granddad. I didn't even realise that was his name or something. Do you know what I mean? So just be open minded. I got a vision of somebody. Now, I got this before, so I feel this is maybe somebody that hasn't listened to the one 2 weeks ago, the first one I done. I'm sure I got a vision, and I'm sure it was someone's uncle, and they said something about memories walking by the sea, something like that, because I saw blustery seas, so I saw walking beside a blustery sea. Now, it could be that you have just been walking by a blustery sea recently, clear in your head, kind of got that feeling, or there's blustery seas in your life, so that'll be for you, that will resonate with you if it's your message. I like to say, could resonate with more of one. Then I got a vision, right? Now, this was pretty drastic, and actually, I feel this message is for a few people, you know, so just, if the Tom bit isn't for you, just disregard that. But it was like, I specifically saw a man, and it was like you were falling down a black hole, and you were hanging on to the edge with your fingertips. Now, you could be a woman as well, but they showed me a man hanging on, and it's like I felt terrified to let myself drop, because I didn't know where I was falling. It almost like you feel like you're falling into hell or something, but actually, I've put in capital letters, let go. You'll land in a peaceful, fluffy cloud. And I've put in brackets, fuck those, felt good, lol. So do you know what I mean? It's like I got this, oh, the lights really went, so I think the battery might be going to die, so I'm going to wrap this up. But yeah, it felt like you're going to, and it's funny because the back of these cards, right, look, they're clouds. So it's like, never mind the stairway to hell, it's a fucking stairway to heaven. It's like you're going to be falling in a really peaceful place when you let yourself let go of whatever you're trying to hold on to, which I feel is the blustery seas part. Wow, yeah, it does make sense now I'm saying it out. But again, it'll make sense to who it's meant to, but I felt it was really peaceful. Wherever you just let go, you don't know what's going to happen next. It kind of feels like what I was describing about falling in love as well, and being scared. Like, you don't know how it's going to go. Nobody ever does. Not even psychics. Because we're always free to walk away from something. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Like, even though, and that actually, there you go, that'll be what me pulling that card that had, whatever that card says is quite unusual. It says something about, you know, your life is already written. And then I sang the first bit of, the rest is still unwritten. And then Michelle's put the whole song in the comments there. But it's true. It's like, really, you know, yeah, fate and destiny, these times are fate and destined. I do truly believe there are things that are destined in your life to happen, no matter how hard you try to run away from them or prevent it. It's just they're written. It's part of your soul's journey, came here to do it. That's the twin flame journey. But you can wake up every day and decide to be a different person if you want to, and that includes walking away from, you know, love and even twin flames and everything. People will do things like this every day, but I feel the time we're in now, true twin flames know that we've came here to help bring heaven on earth to the world, and there's not a coincidence I just held that card up the clouds. Anyway, I am worthy of living my best life. I'm worthy of true abundance, unconditional love, which is twin flames, health and happiness. So I feel that is really going to speak to people, that they've never been made to feel like they were worthy of having their dreams come true. But you are. And then I heard, now this was funny. So again, this is what I mean. This is someone's specific message, but I feel this is speaking to a collective of people that need to hear it. Then I was hearing Elton John, are you ready? Are you ready for love? Yes, I am. Oh, yeah. Right, so maybe you need to go and listen to that. And then I've wrote down ground yourself, and I feel that's because someone is on the precipice. I don't know what that, wait a minute, what does that mean again? Precipice, let's Google it. Does it not just mean something's about to happen? Precipice, a very steep rock face or cliff, especially a tall one. Yeah, you're on the precipice. We swerve towards the edge of the yeah, you're basically on the edge. It's like, it reminds me of one of my favourite sayings, come to the edge, we're scared. Come to the edge, we're scared. He pushed them and they flew. I fucked up a bit, but something like that. You know what I mean? It's about, and it's like what I just got about the person falling down the black hole as well. It's like you're actually going to fall into a good place, but it's scary. Right, and then I've put healing at the end. That's changed it all about. Oh yeah, and I also heard, right, so I heard spice up your life, right? And they were literally saying something to me about introducing spices into your life, but then I heard spice up your life, Spice Girls, and then I've put bored, question mark, question mark. So I really do feel someone's a bit bored, basically. And I've been picking up on this with Divine Masculines. It's like where there's been a lack of excitement, spice up your life. And it's kind of like what they were saying to me. It's kind of like, you know, it's like even Divine Masculines that have kind of been in other relationships or kind of went from one to this to that to that. It's kind of like what we're saying about the whole dopamine rush. You might get a bit of a rush of like the sexy stranger and a one night stand and whatever, or yeah, the excitement of a new person all the time or something or whatever it is, right? Or but it's kind of like, I feel there's a whole wave of men that are getting bored of that actually, or they've been long bored of that, and like now it's like wanting that excitement of that spiritual connection and that sexual chemistry and all of it. That's what I was feeling. Spice up your life, you know what I mean? It's like you can have it all in that person if you believe that you're lucky enough to come across a loving woman or the loving man. That's quite funny what they done there. Anyway, then randomly they told me something about if this is you, this is what will confirm it to you. You were eating strawberry ice cream recently. And I've wrote here some kind of pudding you ate recently. Yeah. Then they said something about Stevie Nicks. Now, is that not the woman that sings in the... See, I don't even fucking know, but I'm sure it's like... Is that not like... I want to be with you everywhere. It could be something about that. It could be something to do with the name Stevie, of course. Yeah, Stevie Nicks. Singers. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac. So maybe you just like that song, I Want to Be With You Everywhere, or you like Fleetwood Mac. Or your birthday might be the same as my mum's because she was born on 26th of May. I got something about the 27th of May yesterday actually, didn't I? You might be a Gemini. I don't know. Could be any of these things. But anyway, guys, I think the phone is going to die and it's been just over 90 minutes. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this. I was going to do a little bit of... I was intending on doing a bit of silent healing, but I feel like I've been here for ages now, so I'm just going to go and get a coffee and that. So give us a word to end it on. Oh, look at that. Courage. Have the courage to forgive yourself. It reminds me of that Sia song. The courage to change, have I? The courage to change, have I? I think that's all it says. Wait a minute. You can do anything. You can do anything. Let's just look at the lyrics. World, I want to leave you better. I want my life to matter. I'm afraid I have no purpose here. I watch the news on TV, abandon myself daily. I'm afraid to let you see the real me. Right, come on. If that ain't about intimacy and everything that's come through for the people that need to hear it, I don't know what is. Have I the courage to change? Have I the courage to change? Have I the courage to change today? And then she just repeats that. You're not alone in all of this. You're not alone. I promise. You need to go and listen to this song. Someone needs to listen to this. Standing together, we can do anything. And I tell you who that is. That's them too. Whoever's fucking blessed enough to be blessed with that kind of dynamic, that's what that is. Anyway, yeah, and then it just repeats the same words. So that is bloody beautiful. And I'm going to leave you with that message to forgive yourself wherever you need to do it, and have courage wherever you need it. And I'm sending you lots of love, everyone out there. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with whoever you feel would benefit from it as well, including the shamanic journeys and the meditations, because I have had a few you saying to me you've sent it to people that aren't twin flames or friends of yours that are struggling, and it's really helped people. So yeah, keep doing that, right? Because it's about the healing. And I'm going to put some more general stuff out for people as well, whether you know, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, but just, yeah, I need to go. I'm too tired now. See you later. Bye.